How good was Thierry Henry and Arsenal? I mean, if you watched Arsenal in the early 2000s, you know exactly what I'm talking about. From his lightning pace to those effortless finishes, Henry was the type of player who could pull off the impossible and make it look casual. But here's the question. Was he that great? Or just hyped? Well, let's relive every moment of his time at Arsenal to decide that. It's 1999. Arsenal just lost Nicolas Anelka and everyone's wondering who will step up. Then, Arsene Wenger, the man with a vision, decides to bring in Thierry Henry from Juventus. But here's the wild part. Henry wasn't even playing as a striker back then. He was this super fast winger in Italy. And honestly, his time at Juve, let's just say it didn't exactly light things up. Wenger, though, being the genius he is, looks at Henry and thinks, "You're not a winger, you're my next striker." Bold, right? Especially since Henry was coming off a rough patch in Italy. Now, his first game? Not much to talk about. August 7th, 1999, against Leicester City, kind of a quiet debut. And then, nothing. For 8 straight games, no goals. Can you imagine the pressure? People were starting to whisper, is this guy even the real deal? But there's where it all changed. September the 18th, 1999, against Southampton. Finally, Henry gets that breakthrough goal. And it wasn't just any goal. He picked up the ball outside the box, cut in and curled it right into the far corner. The look on his face, pure relief. Like, alright, I've arrived. That goal, it was the spark. From that moment on, it was like something clicked, and Henry just took off. It's crazy to think how close he was to being written off. But instead, we got to witness the start of something legendary at Arsenal. 2000-2001. Henry in the 2000-2001 season was finding his rhythm. And let me tell you, this was when the man started flexing his scoring muscles. He got his first hat-trick on October 2000 against Leicester City. 3 beautiful goals. Each one a reminder that this guy was about to tear up the league. By the end of the season, Henry had scored 26 goals in all competitions, 17 in the Premier League. His style? Unbelievable. Whether gliding past defenders or curling one into the top corner, he was making it look too easy. Arsenal fans were falling in love, and defenders, not so much. Once Henry got a taste for scoring, there was no stopping him. It was becoming obvious that this wasn't just another player having a good season. Henry was something special. Now, here's the kicker. Despite all those goals, 26 in total, Arsenal still finished second in the league, behind Manchester United. Painful, I know, but you could feel it. Henry was about to lead Arsenal to something bigger. The goals were flowing, and it was just a matter of time before the trophy started coming too. After that hat-trick, there was no looking back. Henry wasn't just scoring goals. He was making defenders question their entire career choices. And if you thought 2000-2001 was good, just wait, because the next couple of seasons were extraordinary. 2001-2002. The 2001-2002 season was when Henry decided to go full beast mode. Henry finished the season with 32 goals in all competitions. That's 24 in the Premier League alone, making him the top scorer for Arsenal. It was like every game, you just expected him to score. But it wasn't just the goals. His assists, of which he had 15 that season, his vision, the way he dropped deep and link-up play, it was pure class. One special moment in that season was when Henry picked up the ball from deep inside his half and left 3 defenders in the dust, and then smashed it past the keeper. But what stands out is his consistency. Week in, week out, Henry was unplayable. It didn't matter if it was a league game or a big Champions League night. He'd show up. He even scored in that 3-1 win against Manchester United at Old Trafford. That game, where Arsenal clinched the title with style. 2002-2003. So after tearing it up in the 2001-2002, you think Henry might slow down, right? Well, Henry finished the season with a ridiculous 42 goals in all competitions. And it wasn't just goals. Henry was also dishing out assists like a playmaker. He had 23 assists, which meant that when he wasn't just scoring, he was setting up his teammates left and right. The man was basically running the show. One of his most incredible performances was when he played against AS Roma in the Champions League. Henry scored a hat-trick at the Stadio Olimpico, and every goal was a piece of art. He made it look so easy, like he was having a kickabout in the park. And we can't skip over one of his most iconic Premier League moments. That goal against Manchester United at Highbury. But despite Henry's insane numbers, Arsenal just missed out on the Premier League title, finishing second to Manchester United. Frustrating, sure, but it wasn't because of Henry. If anything, he was dragging Arsenal through the season with his brilliance. Henry even became the first player in Premier League history to record 20-plus goals and 20-plus assists in a single season. But before we go into the next season, please can you take a moment to subscribe to the channel. We have a goal of getting to 1k subscribers before the end of the year, and you can make that happen. Thanks in advance. 2003, 2004. So yeah, 2002-2003 wasn't just another great season for Henry. It was him cementing his status as one of the most complete forwards the game had ever seen. But the 2003-2004 will see a different side of Henry. He became invisible not because he was performing bad, but because his team was untouchable in the league. Henry finished that season with 30 Premier League goals. 30! And let's be real, he made it look so easy. Whether it was a tap-in or a worldie from outside the box, Henry was scoring for fun. One of his best moments was the 4-2 win over Liverpool at Highbury. Henry was unplayable that day. He bagged a hat-trick, and one of those goals? Pure filth. He picked up the ball just inside Liverpool's half, skips past not one, not two, but three defenders like they're not even there, and then slots it past the keeper like it's nothing. And then there's that volley against Charlton. Henry pulls off this ridiculous one-touch control with his back to goal and volleys it into the net, all in one smooth motion. He didn't even look. He didn't even look. Who does that? Only Thierry. He ended the season with the Premier League and won his second Golden Boot. By the end of the season, Henry was called the King of Highbury, and in the 2000-2005 season, he would own that title. In 2004-2005, Henry continued to dazzle, adding to his legend status. He was pivotal in Arsenal's run to the FA Cup, scoring crucial goals, including a memorable brace in the final against Manchester United. Henry finished the Premier League season with 25 goals, showcasing his incredible talent, despite the team not replicating their invincible form. 2005-2006. The 2005-2006 period was full of emotions, drama, and of course, pure Thierry Henry magic. This was the final season in Highbury, Arsenal's iconic home, and Henry made sure to give the old stadium a proper send-off. Henry finished the season with 33 goals in all competitions. He was tearing it up again. And the best part? He bagged 27 Premier League goals, winning his fourth Golden Boot. That's right, fourth Golden Boot. It was almost like the Premier League couldn't find anyone to hand it to. Henry's final game at Highbury. It was against Wigan, and Arsenal had to win to secure a Champions League spot. Henry didn't just show up, he put on a masterclass. He scored a hat-trick, a hat-trick, in the very last game at Highbury, and the way he celebrated, he kissed the ground after scoring his third, paying tribute to the stadium that had witnessed his rise to legend status. 2005-2006 wasn't just about saying goodbye to Highbury, it was the year Arsenal went to the Champions League final. Henry was a huge part of that run. Remember his solo goal against Real Madrid at the Bernabeu? That was legendary. He picks up the ball at halfway, shrugs off defenders like they're not even there, and calmly slots it past Iker Casillas. Let's not forget, every day you see someone make Real Madrid look like a Sunday League side in their backyard. Then there was the semi-final against Juventus, where Henry was absolutely on fire. Arsenal knocked out a team that was stacked with legends, and Henry was pulling the strings, both as a scorer and a creator. The man was untouchable that season. Unfortunately for Arsenal, they faced heartbreak in the Champions League final against Barcelona after suffering an early red card. But despite that setback, Henry still had an unforgettable campaign. He broke Ian Wright's long-standing record, becoming Arsenal's all-time top scorer. That moment came when he scored a stunning brace against Sparta Prague, sealing his legacy. By the end of 2006, Henry had netted 226 goals for Arsenal, solidifying his status as a club legend. Oh, and let's not forget, he also finished as the Champions League's second highest scorer that season, proving once again that even in adversity, he was a force to be reckoned with. 2006 to 2007. In the 2006 to 2007 season, it was kind of a bittersweet one because, well, it would turn out to be Thierry Henry's last full season at Arsenal. You could feel the shift in the air, but Henry was still Henry, and even when he wasn't at his absolute peak, he was still scary good. Injuries started creeping in, which was a bummer. He was dealing with hamstring problems and a few other knocks throughout the season, which meant we didn't get to see him at his explosive best as often. But don't get it twisted, he still delivered. He finished with 12 goals and 17 Premier League appearances. That's still pretty insane when you think about it. And let's not forget, he was also battling fitness issues while trying to lead a younger Arsenal team through a period of transition. One standout game during the season was the match against Manchester United at the Emirates in January 2007. It was one of those classic Arsenal-United clashes, and Henry, despite not being fully fit, came up with the goods. In the dying moments, Henry rose and headed in the winner in the 93rd minute, giving Arsenal a massive 2-1 victory. It's one of those moments where you just knew the man still had it, even if his body was struggling to keep up. But then, the inevitable happened. In the summer of 2007, after so many years of loyalty and countless magical moments, Henry made the emotional move to Barcelona. It was a tough pill for Arsenal fans, but you couldn't begrudge him. He'd given his heart and soul to the club, and now it was time for a new adventure in Spain. And that brings us to the perfect ending to Thierry Henry's Arsenal story. Though he returned in 2012, it was brief, but still gave Arsenal fans one last gift. When Henry left after that short loan spell, it felt like the closing of a legendary chapter. Arsenal's king had come back one last time, showing us all that class never fades, and left with his head held high. By the end of his career, Henry had scored 228 goals for Arsenal, more than anyone else in the club's history. He wasn't just the best player in the Premier League during his prime, he was the symbol of everything Arsenal fans adored about their club: elegance, flair, loyalty, and pure football magic. After his loan spell, he began a new chapter in MLS. But before we wrap up, thank you for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Let us know in the comments your favourite Thierry Henry moment, and what do you think? Was he hyped?